iPhone 11 versus iPhone 12 speed test. That video's coming up. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Welcome back to the channel. In yesterday's episode, we covered the iPhone 10 versus the iPhone 12. Today, we're going to cover the iPhone 11 versus the iPhone 12. Let's begin with a boot up on this speed test in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, keep in mind that the Apple iPhone 11 is rocking the Apple A13 Bionic chip. The iPhone 12 is rocking the A14 chipset right here. So let's go ahead and see which one can actually get into the phone first. I think it might be, it's the iPhone 12. Now the iPhone 11 also is running the latest version of 14.1, just like this iPhone 12 right here. So the iPhone 12 wins on the boot up. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and test out their Face ID scanners. So you can see both of them are definitely very fast. We'll go to do that again. They just respond very quickly. Now, I gotta say that I'm not really seeing any difference on Face ID on either of these phones. So Face ID doesn't really see any major improvements here in the speed. Now, looking at the general UI, scrolling through these, both of these phones do have 60 Hertz panels. So when swiping up like this, swiping across the home screens, don't expect your iPhone 12, even though you just paid $800 for it, to be smoother than the iPhone 11. It's absolutely not. So if you want to save some money, get the iPhone 11. You just don't want to pay the extra. You're not going to be getting any slower or less smooth of a phone. So I want to point that out before we get into the app test. Okay guys, so let's do this application speed test on both of them. We're going to go to Instagram, and you could see the iPhone 12 with the step, but the iPhone 11 catches up pretty similar. We'll scroll again. The scrolling the same on both phones. The speed, I did the test before the video as well. I wanted to check it out before actually giving my comments in this video, and I was finding basically equal performance day to day between these two. So you can see, yeah, this loads maybe slightly a little bit faster, but I'm finding them to just, you're not going to notice any difference. So if you really want to save that money, the iPhone 11 is still going to be an excellent option for you. See, the iPhone 11 beat it there on Amazon. What I mean is that it's not going to make a life-changing difference by getting the iPhone 12. Let's go to eBay, and you can see eBay slightly faster for the 12, so that's good there. Let's go to my eBay here. You can see pretty similar. We'll come home. We'll go into weather now. You can check the weather at exactly the same speed. Nobody's going to know the weather faster than you. Just who's going to click the app faster? Let's go into calculator. You can see very similar, identical actually. Let's go into Groupon, and you can see Groupon. I tried this one. This one was always faster on the iPhone 12 with the categories. Once in, you could see identical. I mean, I'm telling you, this A14 is marketed to you as a beast chipset, which it is, but at the same time, it's gonna take down the line for that to really matter. Right now, it doesn't really matter. If you're keeping your phone for 2 years, the iPhone 11 is still good. If you're going like 4 or 5, I would still get the 12. Let's go to App Store. And you could see App Store, looked like the 11 had that first. Going through these pages, very similar. Again, I'm a human. I'm not a robot. So if I misclick some of these, you point it out in the comments, say, Nick, bro, your finger was slightly off, bro. But anyway, the App Store right there, pretty similar. Let's go into the ESPN. And you can see ESPN loads up first there. Looks like the Dodgers won the World Series. We're going to go over here and scroll down. We'll go to scores. You can see loads up things exactly the same. No life-changing differences here. Let's go into news, and you could see news for the iPhone 12. We'll go to following, and we'll scroll. And again, the scrolling speed the same. I wish they would have put a 120 Hertz. It really would have made it feel like a different experience. Let's go into TV. You could see Apple TV opens about the same. I was watching Tiny World. That's a pretty good show, actually. If you're into nature and animals and little tiny creatures, check it out. You can see scrolling right here. And that's not sponsored. I just enjoyed the show. Let's go into Mortal Kombat. And you could see Mortal Kombat does seem to be loading a little faster here for the iPhone 12, but barely, just barely. But I do think that the iPhone 12 should outperform the 11 just a bit in the gaming department, just because it's a more powerful chip under the hood at the end of the day. So I could sit here and tell you all day that they're similar, but Yes, you will get a slight boost in performance, but Mortal Kombat, the graphics a little faster here for the iPhone 12, but is that $700-800 faster? I don't know. You got to make that decision for yourself. Let's go ahead. Or if you're looking at both of these, is it $100 faster? You got to make that decision for yourself. We'll go to PUBG Mobile now. 3, 2, 1. See how this thing does. Now, PUBG Mobile typically is always loading faster on the newer phone, and it looks like it's going to happen here once again, because PUBG requires a lot of power. So I think this is a good example to see where the chipsets do perform. You see that the iPhone 12 is ahead of that 11. We're going to wait for that to load up. That one went straight into the match, but the iPhone 12, I tested this multiple times beforehand, and the PUBG was always faster. Let's go into Temple Run, and you can see Temple Run loading up first here for the 11. Even a casual game could sometimes slightly open up. You can see, let's hit play. Again, I mean, casual games, these phones they're built to run highly intensive games like, football games, basketball games, RPGs, all kinds of stuff that really just requires some more power here. So this stuff like this it'll just tear through stuff like that. Let's go into iMovie. We're going to do a render test after the app test. You see pretty similar, and then Geekbench, again, very similar. You can see the A13 Bionic's clocked at 2.66. Over here, it's clocked at 2.99 on the A14 Bionic. Now, both of them have 4 gigs of RAM, so no improvement there to go to the 12. Now, we're going to run through these applications backwards as we did in the prior speed test and see if anything reloads on either. I expect hardly nothing here because they're both 4 gigs. We'll go to Geekbench 5. Some people say it's a non-factor. It's just non-factor. How many? I want to know. I think someone said, I want to know who's actually opening all those apps at once. And the fact is, not many people are. You'd be right if you think nobody's opened that many apps at once. You'd be right. But at the same time, some Android phones, you can leave those things opened and they reopen. On iPhone, iOS will kill some of these applications in the background. You can see we're not really getting any reloads. And I don't have to tap the reloads perfectly because on the reload, we're just trying to see if it reloads. So you can see, let's go into calculator, and that's good. We'll go to weather. Pretty similar. I mean, guys, we're talking maybe a millisecond sometimes on the 12. This is incredible for the iPhone 11. Yes, it's only a year old, but the chip, this is showing you that the chip marketing just doesn't matter in 2020 right now. It's more about the cameras, the square design, the other stuff, the 5G that really makes a difference whether you purchase an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 12 so far is what I'm getting from this. Okay guys, so now we're gonna do a SunSpider. I will say pinch to zooming on both these phones feels the same. Scrolling on the internet feels the same. The 5G is a little bit faster for the 12. I do get a little bit improved internet performance, but overall they're pretty similar in browsing experience. Now if we hit start now, we'll see which one actually has the faster internet. Of course it's going to be the 12, but how many milliseconds? We're going to see right here 86.1 on that page, 100.5. So that's not a huge bump, probably less than 25% bump here on the internet speed. But the 5G in the long term, you're like future proofing yourself if you buy the iPhone 12 because it has 5G chip in it. So when that stuff does become more widely available, you're going to be like, well, my iPhone 11 doesn't support that. So that's a very strong reason to get the iPhone 12. All right, guys, so let's head to iMovie now. Now I did a longer clip, so A14, A13. Let's see which one wins here. 3, 2, go. And I'll be back when these are done exporting. Okay guys, and as expected, the iPhone 12 won by a hair when it comes to a longer video. So it did show its power there. That's what I thought. I thought if I did a longer video, then maybe it would actually show that it's actually more powerful, as a smaller clip might not make up for the difference. So let's go over here And we're going to now do a Geekbench test on both of these, and I will be back when these are done running these benchmarks, and we'll see the final scores. Okay guys, so the final Geekbench scores are in, and you can see that the iPhone 12 of course benches higher than the iPhone 11, but it's the same story every year. Every year it gets a little bit faster than the last model year. This is not going to be life-changing, and you've seen they were almost identical. These Geekbench scores are really reflective, because if you looked at the single core application test when we were just doing like opening them at first, there was only a little bit slightly faster in most of those apps sometimes on the iPhone 12. Just like here, it's only slightly better here, I feel like, in the single core. But in the multi-core, it is a little bit better as well. It's what you expect, an incremental upgrade it's what you've come to expect from Apple. Improved. It's what Apple does. Improves their phone, refines it further, makes it a little bit faster every year. That's what seems like they've been doing with the devices. So at the end of the day, in conclusion, you could save yourself some money and go with the iPhone 11. But if you want to keep the phone 5 years, just if you don't have an 11, just skip over to the iPhone 12. It is faster. It has 5G. It does have squared edges. You have to decide if you like that, or wait for the mini if you want a smaller phone. But if you want to save some cash and you're just not going to pay extra for something that's so similar, I think you're going to be very happy with the iPhone 11 even now. So let me know your thoughts on the iPhone 11 versus the iPhone 12. Which one do you prefer? Down below in the comment section of this video, and let me know what other speed tests you want to see. I have plenty in mind, but I believe that there's some that you are more interested in. So please drop those in the comments. Thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe also if you haven't already. And I will catch you all in the next episode. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.